So this model, first thing that I want to point out, it's important for you to realize that the right side of the body is more superficial than the left side of the body. So see how you can see more bones on this side? That means that these muscles that you're seeing here are deeper than these muscles on the right side. Here we have the trapezius, which is a term that actually belongs on a different station, but there are lots of muscles that you will be able to find on this model from different stations. So make sure that you come back to this model at the end of lab. So like I was saying, this big muscle here is the trapezius. Underneath the trapezius, you have here the Splenius Capitis, which is important for neck movement. Over here, you have the Levator Scapulae, like the name is saying. So it's going to attach to the scapula. Therefore, it's going to elevate the scapula right over here. These two are your rhomboids. You have a bigger rhomboid, which is called rhomboid major, and then a smaller rhomboid, which is called your rhomboid minor. And like the Levator Scapulae is going to move your scapula. Over here, we have a series of, or a group of muscles that are called the Erector Spinae group. You can see that we divided these into 3 different muscles. The one that's closer to the spine is called the spinalis. The one in the middle is called the longissimus. And the ones that are closer to your ribs are called iliocostalis. So like the name says, costalis for ribs, so iliocostalis. So again, your spinalis, your longissimus, and your iliocostalis. Here, we have these muscles that are attaching posteriorly to the ribs. So if they're attaching posteriorly to the ribs, these are your serratus posterior, and they're going to be important for elevation of your ribs. If they're further up here, and if they're further down, they're going to pull your ribs inferiorly. And the last muscle that we need to talk about is the big muscle here on the bottom part of the back, which is your Latissimus Dorsi, which will also help with shoulder movements. So again, this is the anterior view of this model. You can see on the right side how these muscles are more superficial than the muscles that are shown here on the left side. Muscles for this station that you need to know are your intercostals, like the name is saying, inter, between, costals, ribs. So these are the muscles between the ribs. The external intercostal is the one that's located more laterally, and it's also on top of the internal intercostals, and the fibers also run towards the middle. And these muscles here are important for elevation of the rib. Now the other muscles, the internal intercostals, they're a little bit deeper, so they're underneath the external intercostals. The fibers will run this way, and they're important for depression of the rib. Now there are other muscles that you need to look for in this model, like this big muscle over here on your pectoralis. So this is the pectoralis major. Underneath, so you would be able to see it over here, is your pectoralis minor. This model is good for you to see your rectus abdominis that you can see on the other model that we used. So make sure that you look at it here too. You can see the internal oblique over here. And how do I know this is internal? Because this is deeper than on this side. So on this side, you're going to have the external oblique. The other muscles that you can see here are your Serratus Anterior that are attaching directly to your ribs from the anterior side. So these are just extra muscles, not from this station, that are important for you to look on this model.